Many of us grew up with our parents telling us the tales of Red Riding Hood, the Three Little Pigs, 1001 Nights, and many, many more. These stories of old feature epic heroes, amazing adventures, and antagonists that range from wolves and bears to evil sorcerers and witches. In many ways, these stories and characters help to define who we are as people and teach us about the inherent dangers that are present in life, as well as the rewards one can earn for overcoming often seemingly impossible odds. Now in April 2023, the heroes of these folk tales and legends will be returning, albeit as darker, twisted versions of their original characters. From Past Tech Games, the creators of Curse of the Dead Gods and Masters of Anima, comes Ravenswatch, a top-down roguelike game in which you play as one of these legendary heroes of old as you fight against the dark forces invading your world. With early access due to start on April 6th, we decided to take a closer look at this upcoming title and share all the important details about the game with you. So without any further delay, here's all you need to know about Ravenswatch. The events of Ravenswatch take place within the world of dreams, which is known as Reverie, where fairy tale characters and legends of old exist in relative harmony alongside one another. But in an unfortunate turn of events, dark creatures that stem from the realm of nightmares are spreading into Reverie and corrupting everything around them. It's therefore up to you and your fellow heroes who have been enlisted by the Ravens of Ravenswatch to push back the darkness and cleanse Reverie of the invaders. So maybe the storyline in Ravenswatch isn't particularly original, but at least it has an intriguing premise that inevitably leads to a mostly unique gameplay experience thanks to its lineup of playable characters. And in terms of the characters you'll get to play as when early access begins, there's Scarlet, or Red Riding Hood, the Pied Piper, the Snow Queen, Aladdin, Beowulf, and Melusine. If for some reason none of these really excite you, then you'll be happy to know that more heroes will be added during the game's early access. Obviously, each different character has their own unique abilities and playstyle, and they also have their ultimates that they'll be able to unleash upon foes once they reach level 5. Scarlet is actually a particularly interesting character since she actually has two forms. By day she's a skilled assassin who is highly adept with daggers, but at night she transforms into a ferocious werewolf that can rend enemies with its claws and fangs. I'm also very intrigued by the Pied Piper, who I guess uses music and his army of rats to deal with nightmares. It's these kinds of imaginative mechanics where I think Ravenswatch truly shines, so with a wide array of different heroes with their own unique combat styles to choose from, replayability should be suitably high. Unlike Curse of the Dead Gods, which is regarded by many as one of the best roguelike games ever, Ravenswatch can also be played in co-op mode with up to 3 other players. This means a total of 4 players can party up and take on the challenges the game has to offer as a team. This brings some new dynamics to the table as players will be able to combine their individual abilities to defeat enemies and overcome obstacles. For speedrunners, this should be especially interesting as I'm sure they'll find highly efficient ways to complete the game using the best possible combinations of characters. Of course, the number of enemies and difficulty of the game will scale in line with the number of players, so if you're expecting a walk in the park simply by playing co-op, think again. There are various levels in Ravenswatch, each of which has a boss at the end that you'll either face on your own or with other players in co-op. According to the game's Steam page, you can take on the level boss as soon as you feel you're ready, but eventually you may not have a choice and be forced to face off against these terrible champions of the nightmare even if you're not fully prepared. As with pretty much every roguelike, Ravenswatch will allow you to upgrade your skills and abilities and use more powerful items that you find while exploring and defeating different enemies. Combat seems fluid and highly kinetic, but if you really want to maximize your chances of success, you'll want to master the combat loop as soon as possible and take care to avoid absorbing too much damage by dodging and pulling back from time to time. It's also safe to say that some heroes are hardier than others, but none of them are invulnerable, so don't get too carried away. Another important component of Ravenswatch is Dream Shards, which you'll need to collect in order to purchase power-ups and other magical items from the game's Dream Dealer, namely the Sandman. While these charms and items may be useful against enemies, I'm sure they'll be especially helpful when dealing with bosses or more formidable special enemies that you'll encounter in the field, so using them wisely will definitely be something to keep in mind. Adding to the game's replayability, which the devs seem to boast as one of its most standout features, is the fact that every map is randomly generated and apparently comes complete with all new activities and enemies. This, together with the fact that there are already 6 different heroes and even more on the way during early access, high replayability, and in fact near endless replayability, really does seem to be something gamers can look forward to in Ravenswatch. With its clean and richly colourful graphics, which very much keep in step with other great titles such as the critically acclaimed Hades, Ravenswatch looks like a very promising offering that should keep fans of roguelike action games entertained for many hours on end. Ravenswatch will go into early access on April 6, 2023 and be available on PC via Steam. It seems like console players will have to wait a little longer, but hopefully Ravenswatch comes to PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo Switch sooner than later. So that's pretty much it. That's all the most important stuff you need to know about Ravenswatch. What did you think of this video? And are there any other important details I might have missed? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so I can keep serving up hot gaming, tech and VR content to you on a daily basis. That's all for now. From me and the Ravens here at Metasquad, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later!